Okay, as I gommies our workshop again, and I'm just going to show you how to get into the main valve here. Again, it's thoroughly simple. There's no reason why you can't do this. Yes, I have taken the grips off. I didn't think you'd need a tutorial to take grips off. There's a countersunk screw here. You see the Allen key sitting in it just there, okay? We're going to undo that. That is the main screw that holds your valve in place. We're going to drop that off. This is an M3 by 5 on the pitch, but I'll give you a couple of spare ones anyway. And then hidden inside this aluminium mount, there's actually a grub screw as well, right? That changes the attitude of the or the angle of the entire affair. Don't actually need to take it out, but just to retract it is good. Okay, so that is now your valve is completely loose. So you want to take the actual marker apart. Again, it's the reverse of what we had before. Remember what I said about the little black piece of plastic that holds the spring in position. I mean, we're not going anywhere near there at the moment. Just take the barrel out a second. There we go. Oh, bloody hell. Tighten it. Put a bit of lube on there, I think. So, undo this one here. I do replacement valves and everything. You know, I'm thinking one of these valves should be good for 60,000 repetitions, about the same as an iron board. Drop your M16 frame off. And just realise that actually. Take your Allen key in the top there. And your whole trigger frame comes away. There's all your pipe work. It's a bit of a mess, but it all sits in there nice and snugly. Now at the moment, you can fire this gun without even using this frame, as long as you keep your regulator connected, because obviously you've still got to regulate the air supply. But you can just hold this valve in your hand and just push the button and the gun will operate. There's all the plumbing, nice and simple. Okay, and then to put it back together, drop that valve inside the trigger frame, give it a little bit of a rattle so all the gas lines fall into place. I normally do this front nut first. I didn't actually take that out before, but on the front there's a nut. You see that nut there? Drop that into the hole. There's a hole inside. Your Allen key goes through from the top. Okay. So don't do it up tight yet, just pinch tight it. I've been through the expression pinch tight now, haven't I, a few times. That means that don't be bleeding Mr. Universe when you come to do these bolts up, will you? They're only little bolts with little threads. You only have to do them pinch tight. Done. Done. Okay, so now we want to put this valve back in position. Line up this hole on the back. Drop in your countersunk M3. Do not cross thread it. Like I say, it's an M3, it's very, very small. Just leave that loose for now. Now, next thing you're going to do is this valve is adjustable. You can move it up and down, left and right. But actually, that's exactly fine as it is. That's perfect. I'm going to leave that. But you can change the angle of attack of the actual valve. That changes the amount of fulcrum you need to operate the valve, and also the distance the trigger has to be pulled. But there's a limit, left and right or up and down. You can experiment with that at your leisure. Once you've done all that, just put your Allen key in and just redo up the pinch bolt. There's a pinch bolt on the rear hole. This front hole is the M3 countersunk screw on this side, okay? So, that was us with it stripped down to the valves. just looking at the camera, and I'm just reading 5 minutes. Now, of course, if I was doing that for real, I wouldn't be doing a tutorial. So, you know, I could have got down to my valve components, stripped and cleaned my entire gun, including the bolt, inside of that 5 minutes. Your silencer, this is just a simple push-on affair. It's got a open seal foam medium inside to suck up the compressed air. Then when you've pushed it in place, there is an O-ring that just slips over the end of the barrel, okay? And that's it, that's ready to rock and roll, bar putting the grips back on. But we'll just check the attack of that valve. Yep, that's absolutely fine. Okay, another thing to point out, of course, is when I send these, I turn the regulator down. I don't know what output your bottle is. Now, all regulators are relative to the output regulator of the bottle that's sending out the your 800 psi or your 450 psi, etc., etc. So if I set this up here for what I use with my compressor, when you come and put your 850 psi bottle on, it will blow all the hoses off inside. So we don't do that. I turn this down. Now, marked on the bottom of the regulator are 2 arrows, right? One arrow says D for down, the other arrow says up. Now, it's quite obvious what up means. Turn it in the direction of the arrow marked up, and it will raise your feet per second and your pressure. Turn it in the arrow marked D for down, and it will drop your pressure and your feet per second. Yes, I have had people ask me which way it should be turned. Does up mean that it brings the feet per second down? So there's no confusion here. Now, note also that I have now put a ion regulator on here. Funny enough, it's probably the best regulator for the whole setup of the gun. I did have this nice little tiny one, but I've got a feeling it's suspect, and until I get a full bottle charge and run 850 psi through this, I don't know what's going to happen with it. So I'll tell you what, I'll keep that here at the workshop. I'll wait until I get my bottle filled. Once I've got my bottle filled, I'll make up a test rig or a tester for this. If this works out okay, I'll send this up to you. You can send me the ion regulator back. I like to make sure you chaps are happy. Simple connection for your hoses here. I would have liked to have done an ASA that had a gas port on the front because it is just so much tidier. But hey, normally on-off ASAs with a gas port at the front, you're looking at 50 quid, like, you know, unless it's a cheap one, and I don't do cheap stuff. So that's it in a nutshell, all done. Next film I'm going to do is how to set up your rip clip, okay? So enjoy, you know how to take it apart now, you know how to clean it, you know that the top detent and the bottom detent are retained by springs. If you should take this apart and forget about the springs, they will just ping out and you will lose them forever. You will never ever find them again. These 2 spring detents are really, really important for this side feed system, okay? Now there is actually 3 detents in here. There's 2 spring ones and 1 rubber one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 rubber detents in your spares pack. Should you be at a game and lose them, because you will, you won't remember this video, sorry, but it's true, you'll have the rubber ones to push in as a backup, okay? The rubber ones are fine with bigger paint, but when you start using smaller paint, they have a habit of double feeding. Like I say, buy your paint before you go to the game. If you was a sniper, you wouldn't use cheap army ammunition. You'd be getting green point ammo, which is the first 1,000 rounds off the production line. You'd be buying that privately. God, hark at me. What am I like? I'm so stunned. And of course there's also a CD to come with the rip clip. All your instructions and programming is on there. They do come with some paperwork, but it's how to switch on and how to switch off, really. So I'll leave you now. I'm going to do another little video for the hopper. I'll see you soon, buds. Bye bye.